Hey guys, good afternoon. It's Wassi Wednesday. And my usual location is looking a little bit different because I'm going live from Tobago in the West Indies. Now, if you do not know where Tobago is in the Caribbean, it is one of the islands of the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, which are all the way at the bottom of the Caribbean train, right off the coast of South America. It's actually off the coast of Venezuela. That's the closest South American country to it. So Tobago is this beautiful little island, and I'm here visiting my mom currently, and I didn't want to miss this live. So let's get into it. So it's week 4 of Travel Like a Carnivalista, and I'm talking today about 4 of the latest trends in Caribbean travel and how you can leverage them. So in this video, I will talk about 2 of those trends, and then the full list of all 4 trends can be found via the link that is in the description to this video. All right, so now if I've been talking and you have no idea who I am, it's your girl Esha here, Carnivalista in Chief of the Carnivalista Lifestyle. And I have been going live every single Wednesday, and I will continue to go live every single Wednesday. And there will be a theme every 30 days. This is the final week of Travel Like a Carnivalista, which I absolutely love talking with you all about anything Caribbean travel related. So I hope you all have been enjoying everything that I've been sharing, all of the tips that I've been giving you. And of course, please, please, please put your travel questions. And it doesn't have to be travel in the Caribbean questions. It can be travel anywhere questions. Please post them in the comments, or even just drop me a hi, how you doing, happy hump day. Just comment in the comments and I will be sure to respond. If you have a specific question about travel, as far as I travel expertise, what do I know about travel? I've been traveling for over 4 decades to the Caribbean, and I've also been to 5 out of 7 continents. So chances are any travel question that you have, I pretty much know the answer. All right. Okay. So let us jump into these trends. As I said, 4 trends that I'm going to be talking about today of Caribbean travel and how you can leverage them. And the first one is the increased interest in solo travel and also travel groups that are mainly women or women only travel groups. And this is a trend that I have absolutely enjoyed seeing getting increased interest, especially among Black women, just because there's so much that I learned about myself as a person, about feeling empowered as a woman, and just in general, my self growth that I learned a lot through solo travel and also traveling with women only groups. So I really love that this trend is really, really growing among Black women, especially. And it's a lot easier to do it now than when I was kind of solo traveling back in my 20s, just because of the sheer volume of information that is out there, specifically for solo women travelers. It really has exploded as a trend, especially post pandemic, as some people were not really feeling like they wanted to travel in groups and really just wanted to kind of do their own thing. And then with the pandemic as well, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, with a lot of people who were doing workations and all of that stuff. So anyway, it is definitely something that I highly, highly encourage you to jump on that trend, and either experience solo travel to really empower yourself as a female traveler, or look at women only travel groups, because the really great thing about the groups is that you can do as much or as little as you want. So if you don't really feel like being around people, the whole of your trip, then you can always say, hey, I'll partake in this activity or that activity. And outside of that, I'm kind of going to do my own thing. So, and that's a really great way to feel safer. If you're worried about your safety or anything like that, traveling with a woman only group is a really, really great way to take advantage of this trend. Definitely another way that you will take advantage of this trend is as the rise of solo travel and especially with female travelers has come up, there's been a lot of accommodations who have lowered their single occupancy rates for solo travelers, just given the rise of the trend, because it used to be that they would gouge you as a solo traveler. But now, even as I'm looking at rates for my clients, they have definitely improved in your favor as a solo traveler, as a single occupancy person, right? So I highly, highly recommend you to jump on that trend. And of course, definitely don't sleep on the women only groups or retreats. You'll be in a supportive environment among like-minded women, right? People who are interested in going where you want to go. So that's always a great, great place to start looking. And one of the things that I really encourage, especially with solo travelers, and if you do plan to take advantage and leverage one of those women only travel groups, I have done that so much over the last 14 years that I've owned my own business and organizing group trips, and have solo travelers who come along with us, don't know a soul out of 40, 50 people, and I just love to see the bonds that these women make. And maybe you'll find a lifelong travel buddy, someone who is in the same stage of life where you are and is just traveling around and doing fabulous stuff. So highly, highly encourage you to jump on that trend number one, which is solo travel and women only travel groups. There's definitely been a rise and increase of interest in that. All right. So again, post your questions about travel in general. Just post them in the chat. Definitely want to answer any questions that you might have. And please say hi. Say what's up. I don't bite. Leave me a comment. All right. So the second trend is blending work travel through remote work opportunities. And I kind of hinted at this in trend number one. So this is trend number two. And really, I'm a perfect example. I'm like the poster child of remote work right now because I'm doing a live in Tobago. I don't live in Tobago normally, but I'm here. And really, my motto for the last at least 10 years has been have work, will travel, honestly. I've always wanted to work in positions that gave me that flexibility to be able to work outside of whatever location I'm in. So that's something that I've always sought out actively. I have been an entrepreneur for 14 years, and how many of those years are full time? 11 of those years were as a full-time entrepreneur. So yeah, remote work has definitely been a trend that I've been seeing and increasing and absolutely loving. Just because it gives, especially us as Black women, freedom, location freedom, and again, empowerment, building our confidence and all of that stuff. So with the pandemic, this has definitely been on the rise, because with the pandemic, a lot of workplaces closed down, right? They couldn't have people in the office. So, all of a sudden, there are all of these opportunities for people to have remote work. You can get your laptop, you can get your phone, get da-da-da-da-da, and everything that you need set up at home. And it really became a priority for workplaces to keep things moving. So now that we have that infrastructure in place, many workplaces have not called their employees back to the office, or they have given up their lease in whatever building they had to cut costs and keep their employees remote work only. Now, there have been many workplaces that have called folks back, but there are still just as many workplaces who were like, nah, we good. You can work from home. So the first thing I would say is, if you want to leverage this trend of workations, of working remotely and all that stuff, the first thing I would say, if you have a job, if you have an employer who pays your paycheck, make sure to check their remote work policies and what that looks like. Make sure that you understand the guidelines around remote work, right? I don't want you to just pick up tomorrow and be like, deuces, I'm out. No, don't do that. They'd be like, Esha told me. No, don't say Esha told you. Make sure that you check the guidelines at your workplace, right? Pretty much all workplaces have a remote work policy. If they do not have a remote work policy, talk to your boss, okay? Because there has to be some kind of guidelines or parameters around what kind of remote work you can do. There's some workplaces that have gone as far to say, hey, you can work from these countries, but we don't want you to work from these countries, right? I mean, especially if you have a job that has highly confidential information. In your remote work policy, you might also find information about how you can work remotely, right? Do you have a work VPN? Do you have to use a work computer? Sorry, that's what I was trying to say. A computer that's given to you by your work, a laptop that's given to you by your work. Because, there's some workplaces that will not allow you to do your work on your personal laptop. You have to have a work laptop. So just make sure that you understand all of the parameters around your workplace guidelines for remote work before you book that remote vacation All right. Now, let's talk through other things that you can leverage. So, you definitely want to choose destinations that have reliable internet connectivity, first and foremost, because we all work on the internet these days. And then, secondly, you want to make sure that you choose somewhere that has co working spaces that you can take advantage of, or, choose whatever accommodations that you book has the opportunity for you to separate your living space and your workspace. Now, why is this important? Okay. Because you want to maintain your productivity as much as possible, right? You don't want to go on this remote, I mean, unless you really want to get fired from your job, and that could be, that's a separate topic for a separate day. But if you do want to keep your job and you do want to maximize your productivity, my personal tip is definitely to keep workspaces and living spaces separate. My brain works that way. Like I have to have a separate space where, okay, if I'm going to work, I have a desk or a workspace where I can go no matter where I'm traveling, right? It just has to be a separate space from my bed. Like I do not work in my bed. I do not work from my bedroom. Now, there are many of you who do that and you're completely comfortable with that. That's just not my thing. My brain doesn't work that way. So highly encourage you to do that. If your brain works like mine, that wherever you are booking, wherever you're planning to travel to, that you have at the very least and accommodations that has a desk where you can work on, or maybe a balcony. I love working from balconies. Oh, they're so nice. I love working anywhere with a view. So if that's something that is available to you, I highly recommend that you look into it. The second thing that I would say to leverage or keep in mind as you go about leveraging the remote work trend is keep your time zone in mind. All right. So let's say you want to explore Asia, and that's great. But if your workplace is based in the US and you are expected to be on during work hours, you're going to be working in the middle of the night. Now, you could be a night owl and that's okay with you. I know that's not okay with me. Right. But just know yourself and understand how wherever you are going to be working remotely from is going to affect from a time zone perspective, right? And that's why I recommend, if it's your first time doing a workation or working remotely or anything in that realm, the Caribbean and South America are great places to try that trend, and see if you like it, just because they're similar time zones. I mean, pretty much anywhere in the Caribbean is not going to be more than 1 hour ahead or 1 hour after Eastern time, right? If you're on the East Coast, that works. Even if you're Pacific time, there'll still be no more than 3 hours difference, really. Same with South America, right? So yeah, definitely keep your work time zone in mind. The third tip I would say is make a routine and stick with it. That helps a lot when you travel. So traveling, because traveling is such a disruption as it is anyway of your regular routine. Set a routine, set a travel routine. And that's one of the things that I really have practiced over the last years that I've been traveling and working remotely with my business. Start, if you are designating a day, a work day, have a time that you start working. So let's say it's 9 o'clock, at least you can backtrack into that and say, hey, okay, I'll get up at 6 or get up at 7. If you have exercise that you do normally at home, keep that in mind as you travel as well. So if your normal routine is get up at 6, exercise, shower, breakfast, work. Try to keep your regular routine as much as possible when you travel and you're doing a workation as well, because that will make sure that you stay on track. It will make sure that you have things more in a routine and are more organized, so you can go do your fun stuff and you're not worrying about, oh, did I forget to do this? Did I forget to do that? No, if you have a routine, you don't even have to think about it, right? And then of course weekends, that's playtime. So we're not going to talk about weekends. You do what you want on the weekend, but at least during the week, if you're on a workation and you do have to be on, and working during work hours, then make sure that you have some kind of routine that you can follow daily, and it just makes it a lot easier and a lot less disruptive for you as you try out this workation thing. All right, so then the last and final tip that I have, and I've already talked about this, is try to streamline everything as much as possible by having your workspace, living space separated. All right. And as I said before, I don't work very well from my bed. You may work very well from your bed. And if you do, rock on. That's your thing, right? But for me, I really need to have the two separated. And also, I like to keep my bed for sleeping and for other activities, right? So that are not work related. But that's just how my brain works, and that's just how I am more comfortable, right? And then the other piece, the other benefit of doing that is, when I shut down for the evening, or when you shut down for the evening and you're signing off of work, because, working from home, you can get yourself into that trap where you work all the time. But that's not what a workation is for. There's work and then there's cation, right? So you really have to separate the two. And at least when you shut down for the night and you walk away from your desk, or you walk away from wherever you designated as your workspace, you can then segue into more fun things. And that sets your mind up to have fun as well. All right. So I actually do have a resource. Ooh, and I forgot to put this in the notes or the description of the video, but I will put it. If workation or becoming an expat is something that you are interested in learning more about, then a resource that I have is absolutely fabulous. It's Exodus. It's a Facebook group and also a online YouTube channel, and they have a few different things going on. But it's specifically for Black women to live the expat lifestyle, learn more about the expat lifestyle, or more about remote work in general. So I will definitely update the description to this video to include that, so you can check out that resource, join the Facebook group if you like. It's just something I don't make any money off of them. I just think they are very, very organized, and it's become such an awesome resource for Black women who are looking to work outside of the United States and have an expat lifestyle. I think they do a great job. They're awesome women. All right, so those are the two trends that I talked through. I have trends 3 and 4, which we posted on the link that's in the description later on today. So definitely check that out if you want to find out 2 more trends of Caribbean travel and how to leverage them. That will be there for you. And again, any travel questions, post them. I will definitely respond, even if you're watching the replay of this. And don't forget to say #replay. And that is the end of the live this week, my friends. Next week, I will be taking a break because I will be having some fam time here in Tobago. We are not returning to the US until next week. So we will have some family time next week and enjoy our vacation. So I will not have a live next week, but I will be back on June the 19th. I think that's the date. Yes, June the 19th. And the next 4 lives, or next 30 days, will be Love Like a Carnivalista. And that will be all about self-love, that is. So I'm really, really looking forward to the next 30 days. Again, next live will be on June the 19th. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Good morning, Renelle. Hello. Oh, I'm glad you liked the insight. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you go to the website and see the next 2 tips that I have. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a blessed day. Take care.